You are playing in a tournament and your opponent plays the fried liver attack. What do? The first thing you do is let out a sigh of relief because now you have an easy game and you're probably going to win this. The fried liver attack is a very popular choice in rapid and blitz because it's an attacking choice, but people who are prepared well will have a very easy game against white in the fried liver. Now, coming to the question, what to do here? Of course, we play d5. You play d5, white will take, and if you are a noob, you will take back and get crushed on f7. But you're not a noob, you are experienced. Here you've learned that this is a blunder. So what do? You play knight a5, of course. Now most opponents will play bishop d5 check. Now just play c6, takes, takes, and you have given up a pawn, but you're going to get a very nice position. You probably know this, but we're going to get into the details of this because I got the fried liver in two of my games today in a tournament, round 3 and round 5. This is from my round 3 game. Here, my opponent played bishop to d3, the most popular move. So there's bishop d3 and there's queen f3 and there's also other bishop a4, bishop e2, all these moves. If he went to e2, then just play h6 and e4 and you have a good position. We'll not get there. So bishop d3, what you do is knight d5. This is very important. Don't play h6 because the knight is going to e4. So don't waste your tempo on h6. Here, I didn't know what happens after knight h1 before I played it because I had always prepared knight f3 when I was preparing. I didn't know knight h1. Knight h1, what you do is just knight to f4. And black is completely winning because if knight takes bishop, then you just take here. And you will get the win because the knight will hang. And right now you're threatening knight e3. So we don't need to go there. Most opponents will just go back to f3. If they go to e4, just f5. So my opponent went to f3. Now, so first we played knight d5, attacking the knight. He went back. And now comes bishop d6, defending the pawn. We got a castle. My opponent played h3. This seems to be the mistake in this game. He should have directly castled. Now I castle, he castles, and now comes the fun, f5. This is the most important idea you have to understand. If you do this f5, e5 push, then you're going to get a very nice position. So after f5, the threat is e4, so he played bishop e2, and now e4 anyway. He went knight d4, and I went f4. So here I had choices. I was considering queen f6, queen h4. What else was I considering? Yeah, pretty much that. Queen f6 and queen f4. But yeah, in my mind, I wanted to make it straight and also knight f4. Yeah, 3 moves I was considering. But I wanted it to be straightforward. So just f4. If he plays f3, I would go bishop c5. And then e3 and I have a very nice position because it takes the knight take back or pawn take back. Great position. So he went bishop g4. And now the position is just lost for the opponent. f3. Just straightforward. Now you play f5, f4, f3 and you win the game. So that's the main idea. Now, if he had played bishop takes, I would have played queen takes. And he can't take. I mean, if he takes queen h3 anyway. So he played pawn takes. I took back. He played d3. So if he plays knight d3 and knight takes pawn, then just bishop takes pawn takes and you again have a very nice position. Queen f6 is coming, threatening the knight. And if king defends it, queen f4 will come. So I knew that I was winning here. So here after pawn takes, he played d3. What do? Bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen h4. And the game is over because there's a mate threat on h2. He played knight takes and then just rook takes knight. And here he played rook e1. Then just it's a mate in 2. So see how easy it feels like. You don't need to think a lot. If you're prepared, all you have to do is trust your hands. You are down a pawn, and you shouldn't worry about that. And you might even be okay with giving away 2 pawns. You should be okay with. But you will have a very nice initiative when you're playing against a fried liver. Now I had the same fried liver attack, but a different line in round 5. In round 5, I was facing a 1-1-4-8 opponent. So after e4, e5, knight out, bishop out, knight f6, knight g5, the fight over. d5 takes, knight a5, bishop b5, c6 takes. Here my opponent played queen f3. This is a little more popular among these days kids because you can't take because you lose it, right? But initially I used to play bishop d7 when I was playing online or against my students. But after checking with the computer, I learned that the best was bishop d7. This is important to know. Now, the best chance of white would be just to go back, but then we do the same thing as before. We get a very nice position. So my opponent she took the pawn, takes, queen takes, and bishop d7. Here we are 2 pawns down, but white is so far behind in development. We've developed 3 pieces, and queen and rook are ready to jump in. Castling is going to happen. Queen went back, castles. My opponent also castles. Here, I wasn't prepared about what next. I just had a general idea. I didn't know the next move that is best. Best move was knight g4 or knight e8 actually. I went for rook c8, which is also equally, I mean, not equally, but good. It's a comfortable position. Knight c3, because I was attacking c2. You don't need to defend it. Probably d3 is better because rook takes knight c3, rook gets a little bit trapped. So she played knight c3. Now bishop attacks the queen. Queen is not sure where to go. Because if you go to g3, probably bishop here or just knight h5 and you will be in some problem. The queen went to e2, now knight d5. Again, using the same idea. The engine actually suggests, yeah, engine's best move is knight d5. It's minus zero point 0.4. The black is in a comfortable position, even though it's 2 pawns down. So knight d5, knight f3, because there was a threat of bishop takes knight, knight went to f3. If knight had gone to e4, then again, you know what to do. If you get f5 for free, take it, be happy. Here, knight f3. Now, all white needs is d3 and white should be kind of okay, right? Because uh, my pawn is hanging with 2 pieces, right? And you can defend it once, but you can defend like this as well. But that's not why we played all this, right? When you play the fight liver, be happy to give away one more pawn because after queen took the pawn, bishop d6. Look at these pieces. Look at these 2 bishops basically. They are just monsters on the diagonal. Queen again is not sure where to go because wherever the queen moves, bishop takes f3 is in the air. And one more thing I wanted to show was knight g2 was what I was considering first, but I stopped myself from doing it because I couldn't find what happens after that. I mean, not queen g5, that would be a blunder. Not queen g5. So knight g2, king takes, bishop d6, queen h5. And then what do I do? Because I can't get my queen to f6. I mean, not g5. So I couldn't see the finish there. And opponent was ready to play d3. And I'm down a piece. So just bishop d6. Keeping everything intact, just 3 pawns down, but with a great position. Now she played queen d4. Everything is lost, but this is more lost. Because can you see the win? Just take on f3. Pawn takes back, queen g5, and here she resigned. So this is a very effective way. If you prepare well, fried liver is nothing. It's almost like fried liver is refuted because at the top level nobody plays the fried liver. I mean they play, but very rarely. In the bottom level, like I'm at 1400 level, so at this level people play this, and especially in rapid because they want to attack in rapid. But when they do this, if you're prepared, it's just a great position for you. You have to be willingly giving away 1 pawn or 2 pawns. But if you play a few games and prepare, you should be good.